This is going to be a nerdy video. If you're someone like me, you have hobbies and interests and other things that occupy your mind all of the time. Narrative research becomes the greatest excuse to procrastinate in the world for a writer. It goes like this. I'm not wasting time watching a YouTube documentary about the Elan 1 school. I'm actually just doing narrative research for if I want to write a story that takes place in that kind of setting. I'm not wasting my time playing Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm actually doing narrative research on the usage of subtext to convey different meanings depending on player actions in a story-driven video game. See what I mean? Narrative research can be anything, so it becomes everything. However, I don't think it's much of an issue as long as you're actually learning from it. Of course, recreation is important too, and to avoid burnout, your recreation should remain recreation. But sometimes as a writer, you find excuses to do things because they'll give you more information or insight into your next project. With that said, this is going to be a series of shorter videos released intermittently where I apply not writing related things to writing. I'm starting with my precious ThinkPad. The computer I use the most is my ThinkPad T430 named Munin. My other ThinkPad, a T430S that has no battery, is Hugin. I named them after the drones in Ace Combat 7. Hugin is my experimental system. There are no important files on it, so I can test whatever I want without worrying about backups or really anything. Munin is the workhorse. I love old ThinkPads so much. They're purely functional black bricks made of real stuff. Yeah, I know this isn't the 7-row keyboard, but honestly these island keys feel better than most modern laptops anyway, especially MacBooks in my experience. These can take a hit and also be repaired easily. As it is, I've modified Munin extensively. There is a 1600 by 900 panel, which I took from Hugin. There is an Intel 3612QM I found on eBay, which I had to straighten the pins of myself with a screwdriver, so just kind of keep that in mind. 16 gigs of DDR3, also from eBay, and then finally a 500 gig SSD I pulled from one of my other systems. This laptop keeps up with general computing with ease, and it's over 12 years old. Now, some of that is thanks to the operating system. And yes, I use Arch by the way. But don't judge me, I have an excuse. I was happily using Mint for quite a while, and I still use it on my desktop because NVIDIA. But I was looking for more straightforward customization and control. Mint is an absolute piece of cake to use, but I wanted to try my hand at something that puts the user in a less hand-holding situation. Still, I didn't want to commit for a long time. Then some comp-sci gatekeeper told me that because I'm only a language arts fox, I would never be able to use something like Arch. Mere mortals just simply can't do it. I installed Arch that night, not even with the Arch install script. I did it manually just to prove that anyone can use Arch if they are willing to learn. So yes, I use Arch, but so can everyone. It's not out of reach. Now, this is by no means a gaming or other really serious computing work system. I have my desktop for gaming, video editing, photo editing, and stuff like that. Munin's job is to write things and then store those things. Occasionally play music or watch a YouTube video. Obviously, I don't bring it along to shopping trips or whatever, but if I'm traveling or going to work or anything like that, you better believe Munin's bag is hanging off my shoulder. I've grown quite fond of this machine. In fact, I'd argue a lot of my productivity is a direct result of Munin. It can be so easy to become distracted while you're writing or doing other work. It's why I struggle to write on my desktop. Something more immediately gratifying is just a click away, like Red Dead Redemption 2. But with Munin, it's a distraction-free workstation wherever I go. Sure, I can load a YouTube video, but that will run the battery a lot faster, and with the smaller screen, I'm only going to have one thing open at a time. Sure, I could listen to music, but Munin is such a base model that there is no Bluetooth adapter, so I'd have to fumble around plugging something in. Plus, when I do need a distraction, the kinds offered by Arch Linux are great, like updating with Pac-Man, staring at NeoFetch, staring at HTOP. My desktop environment is KDE Plasma, so I can even play with different themes and stuff like that. I genuinely do recommend doing something like this. If you find yourself either distracted from doing other things when you're trying to write on your computer, or even staring at the blank cursor because all you can think about is stopping yourself from changing tabs or opening a game, then this is the kind of thing to look into. Used laptops on eBay are pretty affordable, and it doesn't take much to be able to write documents. Pick up an old ThinkPad for $50, pick up a $50 2.5-inch SSD, and throw Linux Mint on it. There are short tutorials on YouTube on how to do it, and trust me, Mint is just as easy to use as Windows and OS X, it's just different. Then you will have a distraction-free machine to write with at a very low cost. And with that, keep writing.